Hello and welcome to the second in the series of tutorials that I'll be making. This one in particular will be about making 3D abstract designs in Cinema4D. Okay, so let's get started. Just open up your program, hit File, New File. It brings up this little screen here. What we want to do first is we're going to make some splines. The best thing to do is take your freehand spline here and click this button here, and you can actually bring up all the different perspectives, these three being 2D and this one being your 3D perspective here. And what we're going to do is just do little squiggles on each of these. Just click spline tool again just to do it again, and again on your third one, and maybe just do a bit one here as well, just give it a bit more edge. What we can do is create a lot of NURBS here. What it does is it takes the spline and it sort of just gives it a 3D effect. So you can select all those and drag it onto your loft NURBS and click here. So this is roughly what we've got at the moment. Not too pretty, I know, but we'll get there in the end. Another thing we can do is to create some helixes. They're always pretty interesting. You can use these buttons here to rotate them and pretty much mess about with them. I want to click this button here so it's actually directly editable as well. This one here, sorry. So we can sort of play around a bit to create a nice little flow. With abstract designs, flow is quite actually important. Didn't want to do that. For this one, we're doing extrude NURBS, so it actually has like a little feel to it there. On your loft NURBS and your extrude NURBS, you have different menus here, which you can actually use to change the movement or how many subdivisions you have. So these are quite handy if you want to create certain effects. On the loft NURBS, it's actually quite handy to use more divisions, sort of so it gives it more flow, like free flowing sort of feel. What I'll do is rotate this a little bit this way, sort of help with the flow a bit. Okay, so we've got a little abstract here. And we're going to copy and paste using Control and C, Control and V, these extrude NURBS, and just rotate them a bit so we have just more than the one. So if you just have the one, it's just not really that interesting. Okay, that's pretty decent, I suppose. What we're going to do now is null the object, select them all, move them into this one. What null object does is basically groups them all together. So you can just make the selection and just rotate the whole thing instead of just different aspects. And you can use this button here to go into each one to do them all separately. Okay, so we've got our little abstract here. What we're going to do now is add some deformers. What deformers do, if I get the right one, this one, they actually change how the sort of the tools or the splines act. So you can use your bend tool and you can bend it, you can twist it, you can create explosion effects and all different kinds of effects on here. What we're going to do is add a little bend and add a little twist as well. And you can also change these deformers, change the size and the position as well, just to help your cause really. So you can change roughly whereabouts it is and how much and how effective it is. And you can also rotate them as well, like so, with the rotate, move and size tools here. Okay, so that's looking alright at the moment. Nothing too special. Now what we're going to do now is add a wall to go behind it. What we're going to do is go to Scene, add a floor, and then hit R on your keyboard to get your rotate tool. And we're just going to hold shift as we rotate it, so about 90 degrees. And we're going to push it away as well, so that's a bit further away so we can see the whole render. I'm going to rotate this as well to give us the best looking angle. That's a nice angle there. And what we're going to do now is add a light source. Just added different light sources here that are available. I just tend to use simple light source. Use your move tool again to sort of apply it to whichever way you want to. I'm going to move it so it's this side of the render. So that looks alright, I suppose. Move it this way a bit. A bit higher as well. I think that looks alright now. Okay, so we've got our abstract here, we've got our basis as a background. What we're going to do is play with the lighting. We're going to add some shadows. So in the attributes here, go to shadows. Shadow map soft is pretty decent. So we're going to put that down to about 20% opacity, just so it's not too strong, so we can still see as much as we need to. Let's have a quick look, see what it's shaping up to look like. Okay, that's just a pretty standard abstract. What we're going to do now is copy the abstract and paste it, and just move it around until it looks pretty cool. And that looks alright, I suppose. And we're going to merge those two by null object again. Best way to do that is actually just select them both in your objects palette and hit alternate and G. Okay, that's looking pretty decent now. See quite interesting shadows cast by these helixes that we made earlier. As you can see, some of the bits are quite choppy, like this bit here, and around the edges of some of the parts. What we're going to do to sort of soften them up is create a hyperNURBS and just drop the null object into that, and it should smooth out all aliased edges. So have a quick look at that. It will take a bit longer with the hyperNURBS. I mean, there's your pretty simple abstract design. Next thing to do is to add some materials. I've got a couple of material packs that I've used from DeviantArt, some pretty cool ones as well. Let's pick a random one just to stick it on there, and then let's have a quick view. It will take a while to load this now. But I mean, that's quite as simple as it actually is, just to make a 3D abstract. Nothing too special, but you know, it does look pretty cool. But it's not too difficult. And that's about it, really. Just watching it load now. I mean, there are different things you can add. You can duplicate them and add more deformers and add different effects as well. But those will be coming in a future tutorial. This is just a simple one to show you how a simple abstract's made. Excuse me. And there we have it, a nice simple abstract design made in Cinema4D. I've been James Gravel, and thank you for listening.